Hey everyone, it's Raj from 3CB Performance. This video is looking at Devin Booker's series of left hamstring injuries. The most recent one coming on December 3rd right here when he was going after a loose ball and ended up straining that hamstring. The original injury occurred in late October against the Lakers as well when he was driving the lane and trying to jump off that left leg. You can see him grabbing at it here. So first things first, what the heck are the hamstrings? The hamstring is actually a group of 4 different muscles on the back of your leg that you can see right here. So on the outside, you have your semitendinosus. These are superficial muscles. And then you also have the long head of your biceps femoris. Now, if you take those away, we're going to fade them away, you have the short head of the biceps femoris. In addition to that, you have what's known as the semimembranosus as well. Now, commonly, hamstring injuries occur in these 4 spots along different muscles, either at the insertion or along the muscle belly. Now, the average return to play after a hamstring injury is about 17 days. In Devin's case, he missed about 8 days after the first injury, and that was a total of 4 games. Now, he's been interviewed after the second injury, and he said he'll likely be out longer this time. So let's be conservative here and say he misses 15 to 17 days. He'd be back against the Knicks or Celtics in mid to late December. Now, the problem with hamstrings and why they're so annoying and why I'm always really weary when I see a hamstring injury, there's always a high risk of re-injury. Specifically, there's a 2 to 6 higher chance of re-injury, and most of those injuries happen within the first 2 months, as we saw for Booker in this case, and that injury risk is actually increased for over a year, and it's even higher when you're playing at the highest levels of competition. The reason why hamstring injury risk is increased so much is because they play a role in so many activities. One of the main things that they do is slow down your lead leg right before it touches the ground. This is the highest stress on the hamstrings, and coincidentally, it's when most hamstrings get injured. So you can see here the hamstring is lengthening and it has to contract. That's known as an eccentric contraction. So in this picture here, think about a biceps curl. When you're lowering that barbell to the ground, that's an eccentric contraction. Eccentric contraction actually puts a lot more stress on the muscle than the concentric part. In fact, when most of the soreness you typically feel after a workout is due to the eccentric part of the lift. A second key function of the hamstrings is during acceleration. So the hamstring on the lead leg is like a spring. It lengthens and it passively recoils to help propel you forward, which puts stress on it. Thirdly, whenever you go to jump, the hamstrings are involved in extending your hip and trying to generate a large amount of force in order to increase that vertical jump. And that's why with all these big responsibilities, you often end up someone having that hamstring strain and having this pose here, as we saw with Devin Booker. Now overall, for Devin Booker, the biggest issue with the hamstrings is that high recurrence rate of re-injury, and that's what I'm always fearful of moving forward. He's already had 2, which puts him at risk for even more. Alright, so that does it for this episode. You can always find me on Twitter or Instagram at 3CB Performance. Find a portfolio of all my stuff at The Injury Insight, or find me at my clinical site, 3cbperformance.com. See you later.